got a lot of requests for this one. For a couple of different reasons. Few different reasons, actually. But main thing, you guys have, seen me talk about Eminem. And I've mentioned how he is one of my favorite rappers, right? And let's just say this. Eminem as what appears a government propagandist, man. I don't know what else to call it. That's the worst Eminem. So he drops a surprise album, which is solid, man. And even on the song that we're talking about and how it's structured, the impactful video, it certainly it does what it's supposed to do. He still got it. Like, no matter what it is that I have to say here, nothing changes about the fact that he's one of the greatest rappers of all time. It's not even close. It's not up for dispute. No matter how much you like it, no matter what his skin tone is, he's very talented. And he's gotten, as he's aged, the way he's able to string up bars is just more and more and more impressive. That doesn't change the fact that this is ridiculous. Now, I've talked about, did a video essay discussing, for example, his corny, freestyle they did. I believe it was for BET, right? Where he's talking about all sorts of random stuff. And it's just, what throws a lot of people off about this is it's not even just a change, right? Because he's an adult. And as he's aging, you consider when he came out, when you guys were exposed to him, the world, and now there's a lot of progress that can happen within that period of time. So I don't want to hold him completely. I mean, it's easy to say that somebody's a hypocrite for something that they said 20 years ago, I just don't think that that's intellectually honest, right? Also, keep in mind, for those that are following me, because I'm talking about Eminem, if this ends up getting in people's recommended videos, are going to be bombarded by a bunch of people in the comments that the Eminem stands, that they're going to say a lot of mean things about me. So be prepared for that. This is whatever with me. But nonetheless, yes, there's a change. Clearly, this Eminem is more socially active in the sense that he's less of a rebel. He's taken what is the mainstream position. He's taken a position that his colleagues have, which is why, even though, you consider when he first came out, and he would talk about Clinton, he'd talk about Hillary Clinton and how they used to come at him. And then he went to Bush, right? And it's not that he's never been political. He just skipped Obama, right? He just skipped Obama because he loved Obama. He went on record saying he loved Obama. And now Trump's here, and now he hates presidents again. And this version of him, though, it's not what, and I guess this is what throws a lot of people off. It's not I guess what attracted a lot of people to Eminem was the fact that he kind of had this counterculture about him. He was doing things that were opposite of what the game was telling him to do, and opposite of what a lot of people said. And he could rap on top of it. Main story that we're discussing today is this Eminem Darkness video. I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to react to it in terms of, listening to it together and we react to it. Or I did a bar for bar breakdown, for example, with his diss, him and MGK's diss. I'm not doing any of that. If you haven't seen it, it's called Darkness. He dropped a surprise album. Music video is on top of it. It's called Darkness, and he's basically depicting the Las Vegas shootings. And what happens is he moves, like, towards the end. He has these TVs showing up, and there's all of this, school shooting, yada yada, just really dramatizing that. And then we get this, and he's like, register to vote, make your voice heard, and help change gun laws in America. Like, Jesus Christ, man. What? My bad. But yeah, it's now it's odd that he picked the Las Vegas thing, because that's one of the more weird, let's say, mass shootings, in the sense that we still to this day don't know much about why he did it, right? We don't know too much about motive. how this like it was like that went away like that. And I think that should be alarming to pretty much everybody. But he chose that one, considering that. But it goes back to this whole idea of gun laws, right? That these people will use these dramatic events and go straight to, okay, enact law that will be ignored as it always is, as Eminem would rap about back in the days, and he was ignoring it. But it be ignored, won't stop any of this, and that's it. Start implementing laws, intrude on people's freedoms because you're scared of people owning guns and owning weapons because mass shooters did something. Now, I always talk about how, look, America is a big geographical area, right? It's a huge geographical area. You're talking about 300-some million people, big geographical area. Every area is different. There's culture-related things that happens when it comes to these shootings and so forth. But, you know, people obviously go to some of these other countries that don't have nearly as many people quite often and say, well, look at what they did. Like, I don't care. Every gun law is an infringement. Doesn't change because Eminem did a song about it. It doesn't. But the reason why I call it like it's like propaganda, because he uses this platform, which he earned, to try to paint this narrative and you know, this playing on your emotions and all of this. And then to cap it off by saying, hey, we got to do something. When will it stop? Same old rhetoric that you hear from your mainstream leftist Democrat politicians when it comes to gun laws. We got to do something. Every time. We got to do something. We have to do something. And that have to do something is, no matter if it will change anything, it's gun laws. Now, the thing that's interesting to me about this is that Eminem's part of hip-hop culture. Now, you guys know I've been very critical of hip-hop culture in terms of the culture itself and what it incentivizes and what it perpetuates. In that violence and so forth are things that a lot of, you know, your favorite rappers not only speak about, but glamorize, which I think is the main thing. You glamorize. I talk about this in how, for example, when I was back in my rap days, for the metal stuff, right? Back when I was strictly a rapper, Bring the Beef, one of my, you know, most popular songs out here in the city in Dallas that I ever did. And I remember every time I would play that song at any club, party, whatever, when we would perform it, it was a fight would break out. Every time, it never failed. Like right when my verse started. Well, shirt off, muscle T, because the song was about fighting. That was the song what it was about, right? That was just kind of a norm. And it still is. You know, you see rappers that got their guns and in their videos and stuff like that, bragging about who they shoot. They don't even know how to shoot, by the way. Bragging about who they shoot and stuff like that. And the fact that guys in the hip hop culture like him, because even some of these guys will go advocate and buck dance for the Democratic Party or the Democrats each and every election cycle. But the odd thing about this is that they never turn the mirror on themselves, right? Eminem is a powerful person. It'd be one thing if he said, hey, how about we change the culture? Which I'm a big proponent of it, right? I'm a big proponent of it. He'd never do it. But I'm a guy that really encourages people to do that. Like, use the culture that you're a part of. Definitely, if you know that there's a plague in it, to rid yourself of it. Rid yourself. Rid the culture of it, of this nonsense. So get out there. I got my dog's beard all in my ear and stuff. Hair's not great. It's dog beard. Dog hair in my beard. But yeah. So what is this? Why not utilize the platform to do that? Turn the mirror on you know, other your fellow rappers. You'd be surprised in how much power these guys have. Even their beloved Farrakhan said that. Like, you got so much power as a rapper, right? And this is why this video right here is impactful. Why not turn the mirror when you talk about cultural issues, which may not necessarily be solely with, you know, with mass shootings and school shootings, but violence and homicide, and which, you know, again, most homicides are of that nature, no matter who it is, right? Why, considering that that's the medium that you're a part of, why not use your power to turn a mirror on them and say, hey, We can still rap, have some fun without glamorizing this, right? But they almost never do that. But every 4 years, here we go, vote for this person. And it's been increasingly so nowadays, for whatever reason. It's not counterculture, it's not rebellious, it's total line. Not even total line. Get in line. This fool did this, him, with such talent. That's why I can't excuse it. With such talent, because it was impactful, right? And he ends it with this whole, we got to go change the gun laws. And if you've been keeping up with him, this isn't the first time that he says something like this about guns. This man really got out there and he's advocating for government law. Eminem of all people. Yeah. Eminem of all people. And that is difficult to say because you don't expect that from that guy. But aside from that, I mean, if you can kind of remove the music video, the album's pretty solid. I want to say that. I want to be sure to say that. He still got it. He's a spitter. Royce, probably produced a couple, I like Royce more than him, and I love them both. It's kind of weird, man. Like, so a lot of my favorite rappers, LSI too, are from Detroit. But, yeah. Come on, Eminem. Like, that was... Give government more control is essentially the message that he's trying to send. That's exactly the message he's trying to send. And these people are going to continue to play on the emotions. People, oh, look at this, we have to do something. And if you're against what it is that they're personally an advocate of, then you want kids to die. You want people to die. That's how they switch it up. And it's just complete nonsense. It's complete nonsense. It's just, no, we recognize that all gun laws are infringements. I ain't waiting on the cops. I ain't trying to wait for the cops. In the event that I need to protect myself, I don't need to you jumping through all of these hoops or anything like that. It's an infringement. I've committed no aggression. Like, my gun didn't walk up out of here and go shoot somebody just because some deranged person did that. And these, instances where people go and save people with their gun get swept completely under a rug. And what gets hyper-emphasized by the media and is in the news cycle forever, the event that someone goes and commits violence or more so aggression upon another person, not defensive, just going using aggression upon people. And that should be condemned every time. That should be condemned. And we should start having those conversations, tapping in the psyche of what would drive a person so crazy to the point to where he just want to go kill hundreds or dozens of random people. It's just a conversation to be had, not sitting over just so we can go through the motions, advocating for laws that wouldn't stop even if you implemented whatever new clown stuff they want to implement. It wouldn't stop whatever's going to take place or what even took place. It's just them feeling good about themselves. Look, I did something. Hey, here me a sticker. All gun laws are infringements. That's just the end of the discussion.